Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Jerem Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel and to part 2 of my Lord of the Rings Online Mordor playthrough. Part 1, obviously, if you guys saw, was a different format, unlike anything I've done before here in the channel, where I give you guys a summarized, condensed version of a playthrough, which is something I've wanted to do. And part 2 now is also an experiment. This is something more traditional, a playthrough that you guys are very familiar with, and I'll be going through Udun, which I still am in Udun, by the way, trying to finish that zone as quickly as possible. So this second format is gonna be more, hopefully, offer you guys a more full experience because you'll get to see like the finer details of questing in the Udun region of Mordor, which I obviously can't do if I'm doing what I did for the first episode, which is just condense it, and give you guys information on top of spoilers, unfortunately. It can't be helped, though, when you're trying to review a game and when you're trying to, show the ins and outs of the new expansion or new content or anything that you're trying to put out as a reviewer. You have to make that choice whether are you going to spoil this for your audience or are you not going to. I chose the option to include spoilers in majority of my videos, but I do give you fair warning in advance, and for those that I missed, I do apologize, but hey, we're here now. So as I said, this is a experimental format. Episode 1 different format, episode 2 playthrough format, but it is offline. It's not a live stream, unfortunately. My internet is still kind of wonky, so it's up to you guys as well to leave comments in any of the videos and tell me what type of format would you like to see for future playthroughs, future leveling streams. Would you like to see a combination of the three, or do you actually prefer just having live streams or having the condensed version giving you as much info in a small amount of time, or would you prefer this, the longer playthrough offline, but I get to edit it into a long enough piece that I can show you guys as much as I want to. So do let me know which format you prefer, and I'll be happy to take that feedback and implement it for my channel moving forward. So from where we last stopped, I was still in the Udun region, and for those of you that do follow Andang on YouTube, he had a live stream this weekend and I jumped on his stream, and we went and did a whole bunch of stuff, from like roving threats, which I had not done in a long time, and that was kind of fun, although we died a lot. But yeah, that was super fun. And so I've not jumped into the Udun region to continue my questing, which I really should. So that's what I'm gonna do here today. But first I was looking for my Anphala scrolls. Where are they? Oh yeah, they're in my shared storage. Should have done that. So I have a lot of these, like a lot of Anphala scrolls of empowerment, and I'm not gonna show you guys how I use one by one and get my weapon leveled up. So I'm just gonna fast forward this entire process. But once I'm done checking out my legendary weapon, and this is it, Tiruvial 4. And why I named my weapon Tiruvial is, I don't know. I mean, the first legendary greatsword that I had way back in the day for a captain was Tiruvial 1. And with each expansion and each time the level cap goes up, every time I get a first H symbol drop, I would recraft it and I would name it 2 and 3 and now 4, for all the level caps that I've been through so far. So I kind of like that, and it just reminds me, like when I see the number, I was like, wow, this weapon, or at least this iteration of the weapon, the name, that memory of having that one sword all those years ago, it stick with me. It's still with me, and I kind of like naming my weapons like that. As for name self, Kellanian's Cappy. Kellanian's a good friend, who rarely plays LOTRO these days. So she was the one who gave me the first H symbol to make the sword. So made it in her honor. I spent a lot of time getting all these Anphala scrolls of empowerment on my alts, doing box runs and stuff like that. So, and there's a bunch that I can unlock right away. I do have enough for the weapon, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and once I'm done we can head into Mordor again. I just realized I had 18 starlit crystals in my bag, which I've been carrying around since the start of Mordor, which is kind of crazy. So I guess I'll be using those now, and it's not much anyway. How many tiers do I have on this weapon? 21, 24. So I've just got like 4 more left, which I have no problem spending. It's no point hoarding all these Anaphyllid Starlit crystals, so I might as well use them. This is a lot more tiring than I thought it would be. I wish there was some mechanic that I could just, click on a stack of Anaphyllid scrolls and auto use all of them until you can't use it anymore, instead of having to do this one by one. But good news is I'm nearly done with one weapon. I've got one more to go. Should have more than enough. Alright, I think I'm done. That entire segment of putting in Anaphyllid empowerment scrolls took at least 20 minutes because it was going that slow. But good news is I've got both my legendary allies, my imbued allies, my sword, great sword, and my Cappy emblem all fully maxed out. And the good news is I've got like 35 Anaphyllid scrolls, to burn extra, which is great, and everything is all. I'm happy that I actually put in the work in the past 2 updates to grind as much scrolls, because somehow I knew this day would come where they'd increase the levels again. Now, the next part is obviously to get all my runes out, and for those of you that do know me and have seen my vault before, I am a hoarder. Absolute LOTRO or MMO hoarder. I've got all these runes taking up valuable bank space, so I'm gonna use them and max out my ally right now. And the benefit of me doing this, or if you are a similar type player, the reason you do this, at least for me, I now know that at the very beginning of Mordor in the Udun region, mobs have higher mitigations and everything thanks to the shadow and the light of Earendil mechanic. So if you don't have all the light armor yet, you've got 1 or 2 pieces, and you notice you're still missing, they are still dodging and everything, the next best thing for you to do is try and get your allies up as much as possible early on, because while you may not have the level, like I'm still at 106, while you may not have the level, at least when you do hit with your weapon, you're gonna do some damage. Every hit you do at these early stages, it's going to count. You're going to be doing damage. At least you'll see their morale pool whittle down that bit faster. And I built my captain to hit and hit like a truck. My crit rating is almost 13k, and might's at 5k. I don't have my banner and everything out, so once that goes up, it'll go to like 6+, I think. So I build myself to hit like a truck, and having my allies all boosted up. As for my allies itself, if you want captain advice from me, you're about 3 years too late. 3 years ago, I was heavily involved in everything, PvE, PvMP, and with my captain builds. I mean, if you play a captain and you're brand new to the game and you're wondering what are the weapon skills I should have, what sort of all these little things I should have, the legacies that you should have, that really depends on your playstyle. I mean, if you really want some advice, feel free to PM me in game. I'll tell you. For me, I built my Cappy, or at least I saved the legacies from years ago when I was PvPing. I am primarily a support type player, who I love reading the fight. If I need to do more healing, I've got more healing. So my emblem has a lot of healing, increasing rallying cry, which I think is an absolute must no matter what. If you watch my previous live streams or whatever, at the end of a battle, it's wired in my brain to hit my number 11, my last skill, which is rallying cry. So that should be a habit for every captain, regardless if your morale is topped up or not, because of the power restore as well. So it's a mixed bag. My emblem, I've got mostly the hard-hitting DPS legacies and the healing ones as well. And because my crit rating is pretty high for a captain, I've got critical magnitude for both some of the DPS skills that I have and for the healing skills that I have as well. And I do rely on bleeds a ton, because if you PvP, you'll notice that some creeps do have pretty high defense ratings against your normal pressing blow and devastating attack, which is why you'll use this skill, Blade of Elendil, to bypass that. And the next best thing to do is also your bleeds. I cannot tell you how many killing blows I get in PvP, by having bleeds, and when they tick for and when the ticks crit, you do a crap ton of damage on top of whatever else you're doing. And in a group setting, putting a bleed on and letting your group go onto town on the creeps or whatever is a fantastic thing. It just that dynamics of Cappy building for bleeds is really, really great. I stand by it. I highly endorse it. So bit of Cappy advice there, but I'm not the greatest Cappy in the game. There's so many ways to play a captain. This is just how I do it, in case you're wondering. Now then, the challenge for me now is to get everything up. And again, you don't want to see this, so I'm going to fast forward so we can get to Mordor. And that's it. That's done. Both my main allies, my imbued allies, are now completely maxed and Mordor ready, baby. The only thing I don't have is the brand new runes and all this stuff that came with the collector's edition. Sorry, the ultimate fan edition of the Mordor expansion, and frankly speaking, I've had a look. It's not that great. Some of the ones I use give me extra, like if you play a melee class, you play any class, minus attack duration is great. I always have the white mountains in there, and the other ones are just for crit. Physical mastery and crit, I think it is. So yeah, that's it. I'm good to go. And now I gotta store all this stuff back in my vault, and then we'll be good to go, I promise. Here we go. Alrighty, folks, here we are back again in Udun, in the Mordor region. And there's a couple of things that I did not manage to get into episode 1, the first episode. And there's a bunch of new stuff. Oh, I am lagging pretty bad here. It's just probably everybody loading in. Yeah, there's a bunch of people here. Emma has a ring, which I cannot pick up. A quest that I'm under leveled for. But yeah, as I was saying, there's a couple of things I missed out talking about. The first one, of course, is there is a new crafting tier for whatever profession you are. The new one is called Doomfold, and it requires Doomfold Skarn. That's the new ore node for the region, and you'll see it all over the place. I have not got any recipes yet. I mean, the ones I have from the Metalsmith Guild so far is just a Runekeeper stuff and processing in. But I believe they can be bartered, I think. I'm not sure. I mean, if you already have finished the zone or you know more, please feel free to share them in the comment section below. I am learning as I go along. I've not seen the end. I've not gotten very far. And I don't exactly watch other streamers because I don't have the time, so I have not been seeing what's waiting for me moving forward. If you want to spoil that for me, do go ahead. I don't care about spoilers at all because I'm gonna get there eventually. And the other thing I noticed was when I was questing sometime last night, I picked up a lockbox of some sort. Where are you? Let's give me a moment to find. Okay, here we go. I've got a Gorgoroth Steelbound loot box. This is level 106 and it's locked. So right clicking on it says a black steel key is required to open this loot box. So it is a brand new loot box specifically dropping in the Mordor region. And you'll need a separate key. Sturdy steel keys no longer applies to this loot box. This one costs 195 LOTRO points. Let's see, I can't remember what the old key was worth. Old key is 100, so this is 95 LOTRO points more expensive. I don't know what drops in there. Again, if you know, feel free to let me know what drops in there. Just reading here, we got rare Gorgoroth equipment and essences to crafting components. That's right, we got new essences too. I've not seen any essence slotted light gear dropping from the landscape yet, nor do they drop from some of these early quest rewards. So that's probably going to come later on when you move along and have higher gear at higher levels. So those are some of the new changes here. Daily Hobbit present. How could I forget that? What do we got? Simple Rally Horn. Excellent. Now, let's begin or let's pick up where I last left off. I do apologize if you can't exactly see the map because it's a little small. I prefer it that way. And I really want to talk about how condensed everything is in this first region. But first, let me just help this guy out. Actually, he doesn't need the help. He's got this covered. And he's only 105. No damage taken. Lore Masters OP. Right, so some of the quests now that I have, stuff like an answer unspoken, the things they've left behind, a few come forward. A lot of these are prompt quests. There's can't remember what they're called, but you stumble upon something and the quest auto bestows. That's the word. Auto bestows on you. So I've got a couple of that, and so far this entire first region of the Udun region, I mean, everywhere in here there's something you're going to stumble upon that's going to auto bestow a new quest on you, and it's very, very compact in the area. Like, it's because if you walk around the landscape, you'll see that this place is littered with, orc camps and forgers camps and little encampments where the mob density is very high, respawn rates are decent. I mean, they don't automatically respawn, which is good. But you'll have to go through all these at least twice over to look for some of the items. Like this one, for example, the things they left behind. You have to find 20 abandoned soldiers' backpacks, and they're all over the place. So like these two encampments will have one each. So you pretty much have to go down this line stretch here to find them. So that's the kind of fetch quests that you'll get here. I'm not a big fan of them, but the redeeming factor of that is now, at least now in the landscape quests, the story is starting to come together. When I first got here, I was kind of, confused in terms of what exactly am I doing here. They didn't really, in my opinion, do a good job of explaining that or have a very strong beginning plot point for you to begin your adventures here. I mean, Gandalf just tells you that stuff is happening beyond Mordor and go find out what. And back in the camp here, this camp, you'll find a couple of people who'll tell you what's going on. And some of the quest chains that I've done so far, like the one about the captain who is interested in treasure, and the more he dug with his team, the more corrupted they got. And that quest chain was interesting because it was slow at the beginning because of all the stuff that you had to do, but the more you progress, the better the story got, and it actually made sense. And for me as an MMO player, I'm all about story, so that's the redeeming factor here, because when it comes to MMOs, I think it's safe to say I have been spoiled by some of the more recent MMOs that came after LOTRO. And I personally like to see MMOs innovate with their questing design and how they go about doing things. To me, LOTRO just never seems to want to innovate. They just want to stick with what they know because they think that the crowd, are so used to it, they're okay with it. But I think shaking it up would be excellent. Now this guy, this is part of the which quest is this? A Few Come Forward. This quest has been a pain in the ass for me for the last 24 hours. I mean, you have to go around the encampments looking for, corrupted soldiers or dwarves or whoever that wants to surrender, and they'll have their ring above their head. The problem is, when I first picked it up, you couldn't find them because the respawn rates were so incredibly long. I did some research on the forums, and maybe I'll show you guys the picture of that. This one guy waited, I think, 20 minutes at the same spot for one of these people to surrender to pop up, which is kind of ridiculous because in the first zone, especially as an MMO player, you want to move on, you want to progress. But today it's Tuesday, 1:35 in the morning for me, and a couple of hours ago there was a patch, and I believe they sort of fixed that now because I'm moving around and I'm seeing a lot more of these guys popping up. See, here we go, friend dwarf. Whereas last night when I was playing for a bit, you couldn't find them. And it's not because this place is just populated with players doing the landscape activities. I think I've only seen a couple of players around here. I'm sure there are more, but I'm the only one on this quest chain here so far. Actually, I'll take that back. This camp is empty, so it's been cleared out recently. But yeah, so I'm really happy that they fixed the spawn rates for that quest. I am now going to test out my shiny new leveled up allies. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 20k crit. That's why, leveling up your ally as fast as possible by using all your hoarded endless scrolls and everything is the way to go. As I said, You're not gonna get many chances to hit a mob here at the very early stages. So by having your allies maxed out as fast as possible, you will kick ass hard and fast, which will make things go absolutely faster for you. And I know I can't see my shadow debuff right now, but I am somewhat okay in terms of gear. I am, let's just see here, I've got 1. This is a quest reward, so that's 2 Light of Erendil. This is a extra quest that happened in one of the forges at the top here. This is a purple item, by the way, so it's better than a green. I mean, you look at that armor, that's crazy. The reason why I have it on is because of the crit rating. I love crit rating. +4 Light of Erendil instead of the +2 that the normal landscape quest will reward you. So just better stats all around. And the armor, man, I'm telling you, that's 7,000 armor. The one I was using, which was leggings here. Lacquered leggings of the Ithilien captain. This is from back in update 19. I've got all my powerful essences in there. This one has 3,559 armor. So the increases in armor is ridiculous. So that's why I have it on. If you want to get the exact thing, I mean, you could choose what you want, whether it's light, medium, or heavy. But it happens in here during the Corrupted Captain quest chain. I forgot what the name of the quest was. But you'll get a quest to collect 4 stones in there. Make sure you follow that quest chain through, and it'll take you to the bottom of those pits, those forge pits, and you'll have to fight a mini boss to get that. So that's how I got that one. So in total, I've got how many? 1, 2, 3. So 3 of those. That takes my Light of Erendil stat to 8 versus the 20. And now with the ally as well, I should be doing more damage, and it should be way better for me now. So I believe this is the last one that I need for this quest. If you come forward, should be able to turn that in. Yep. Now I have to go back and turn that in. No gear here. Alright, next one I want to do is a Abandoned Packs, 18 out of 20. I'm really close to finishing that. So let's see here. Things they left behind. Alright, I know where to go. So it's very clever what SSG is doing here. To make players stay in a zone for an extended period of time before they have to move on to the next area to continue the quest. What they do is they make sure there are a ton of... I'm really trying to find a word for it, but I can't. So a ton of petty quests in this area that's going to make you revisit the entire thing, and you're pretty much forced to do it. Okay, so here's a new one. This thing has a ring on him. Durthang Spy. Damn it, I'm still missing a lot. Evade, miss. Let's try put some bleeds on him because that'll whittle him down. Both my bleed skills missed. Man, there's nothing I hate more in an MMO than missing. There you go. So this is a new quest. The Ears of Ugrukor. Gosh. And I know there's so many people that are, great at pronouncing Tolkien names and Tolkien stuff. I am not one of those people. So if you hear me pronounce something wrong, feel free to correct me. Alright, the Spice of Ugrukor, Captain of the Pit, can be found throughout Udûn. The fewer who return bearing tidings, the better. So what I was just talking about petty quests and making you stay in the zone because you have to go and find the individual objectives. This is a prime example of that. First, let me just get rid of something. Let me get rid of the black book here because I tend to do that last in a zone before I move on. So 8 of those. Now if I open my map and I see the amount of ground that I have to cover in this zone to get them. Oh my god. Wow, they are all over the place. So that's just a clever MMO trick that developers try and make you stay in one zone as long as possible. You know, if you're playing it for the story, if you're just playing to go through, you won't notice these kind of things. Unfortunately for me, I do, because I have to take everything into consideration, you know, for the review. And you know, quests like these just make me go ugh. But I mean, there's things you can do to mitigate that feeling of frustration. For example, if you know they're gonna be here, like, look, this one guy just popped up, I can see him, but they also look to be spawning in Durthang, so just quest in that area, just hang around there, spend 10, 15 additional more minutes in one spot where you know they spawn, and just finish off the quest. And I need to kill 8 of these guys. Let's go ahead and get him real quick. Alright, you're dead. I will now be going up to the encampment. Let's get some of these backpacks. Okay, there we go. So the shadow mechanic has now popped up, and I am... Oh, that's pretty good. So this area's only got 10, and I've got 3 pieces on. That takes my total light of Erendil to 8. So effective shadow is only 2. I'm still missing a lot, obviously. That only will change with better gear and the new essences, I believe. There should be a backpack in here. Oh, there's one backpack right there. Small rusty chest is just basically like, you know, in the old landscapes for the old expansions or whatever, you'll find like a corpse or a bag or a chest where you just open it, you'll probably get some silver and crafting materials and whatever. So that's what they are. Nothing special there. Oh boy, I have pulled 3 mobs and a spy at the same time. So it's good to know that there's spies here. So as I was saying earlier, now that you know they're here, all you want to do is just spend an additional 10 minutes clearing stuff out, looking around for spies, and really that should make the questing experience a lot more better. If you're gonna go throughout the entire zone, like every nook and cranny looking for them, you're slowing yourself down. So just be smart about that. Be smart about how you quest. I am conscious that I'm squishy and red in the red trait line for the captain. You know, it's a compromise, but I do a ton more damage in the red line. And I just need 1 crit. Oh, doesn't matter. Okay, 19. That makes 1 more backpack. I just need 1 more backpack. Let me see if I can get the chest without pulling him. We'll see what we get in here. Gorgoroth crafting bundle and 12 Doomful hides. I like the amount they give you. That's a pretty decent amount. I obviously can't use everything on one character, so I'm just gonna have to mail them to my alts. As for the crafting bundles, where are they? Where are these crafting bundles? Are they like a bag or stack? Or... Crafting bundles. Nope, not in my bag, so I guess they auto-open. Gorgoroth crafting bundle. Because it looks like a chest, but it's not exactly in my bag, so... I guess to save space, they just auto-open it for you. I kind of like that. Alright, let's just take out these guys while we're at it. Let's see if I can get another spy spawn here, now that I know they drop. Or they spawn here, I should say. Well, I just killed them, and this chest has actually respawned. That's less than 2 minutes, and I have a ton of stuff now, on top of silver. Well, if you're gonna be spending a lot of time here, you might want to grab as many chests as possible. Now, I can totally see a soldier's back in there, and that's going to be the last one that I need for the quest. Problem is, look at the amount of mobs there. I have a defiler, a warrior, an archer, a captain. That's 4 mobs in the way. So, if you're running this as a group, it's easy. When you're solo like me, and if you play a captain, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go yellow. I've only got 82 trait points because I am a lazy bum. And you may very well know that I do leave LOTRO a lot, come back once every few months or whatever, so I don't exactly do all the meta deeds to get the class trait points from stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go yellow. Oops. I guess I pulled somebody way too fast here. Yeah, I have to go yellow to take on that many mobs at one time, because if you're in red, it's gonna be a long, or I should say, you're probably gonna die. I'm probably gonna die. So let me just get this guy down. It should be quicker now too, since all my allies are pretty, well, my allies are maxed out. Come on, crit it. Excellent. Now, I am gonna get everybody here. Let's see how long I last. Oh, I've got a guardian here to help me. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna work together here. I'm gonna take down his targets. So I'll just pull aggro here. Get rid of a breather. So that's the joy of MMO questing, the impromptu help and support from players in the area. Never get tired of that. I was so set to take them all on. Having some help is good. But yeah, I mean, if you're not in that situation and you're gonna be taking on a lot of players, a lot of mobs, sorry. I mean, there's no shame in going full tank mode for it. I mean, for me, if you're able to identify a scenario where okay, I'm gonna have to go for red for this one. I'm gonna go blue. I'm gonna go yellow. And if something's holding you back, like you don't want to be judged by other players. Oh, you took the tanky route. I mean, F that. I mean, really, screw that. Just you're given different trait trees for different situations. Use them. I nearly dropped an F-bomb there, and I'm quite conscious of the new YouTube advertiser-friendly crap. So I'm PG-13. I'm very clean. I don't even know what the ratings are. PG-13, is that for kids, or yeah, I don't know how the rating system works anymore. Oh, bloody hell. Alright, now that he's dead, I can go back to red, kill things faster. Let's bring out my buddy here. And great, so let's turn this in. While there was nothing of truly great value from those 20 packs that I picked up, nothing of great value. The soldiers of the Dark Lord's armies left much in the packs they abandoned among the camps of Udûn. Yes, I feel great now that you tell me that. So all the effort I put into it was for nothing. That's done. Spies, I could just run around here, but again, the smart thing to do is go to Dirthrang and look for the spies there. In fact, because I've got a lot more quests in the area, like, let's see. Gearworks is one of them. So Gearworks is up there. It's towards the northeast. I should jump into a spire or two along the way, so I'm just going to hit there first. It's really dark. I'm not sure if you can see the rings there, but there is a couple of Gearwork rings over there, so that's where I'm going to be heading. On my horse. Come on, horse. Let's go. Let's see here. Metalsmith recipe. No Doomful. I've been getting a lot of, you know, tools, crafting tools recipe, which I have no use for. And another Gorgoroth steel-bound loot box. I guess once you hit 106, once you hit your level 106, these are going to be dropping a lot more to sort of entice you to visit the store and get a key. In fact, you know what? We're on the way to. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a key. I'm going to buy a key from the store right now so we can totally see what's in these boxes. The smart thing to do would be to wait until you're level 115 before you open one of these boxes. Simply because if it's anything like the Matham armor, it's going to scale. Like the armor or whatever that drops in here is going to scale. I highly doubt that it's going to drop like 115 stuff for you when you're only 106. I don't know. I'm here to find out, so let's spend 195 on these to get one key. Yes, please. There we go. Let's go all the loot there. Alright, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one should I... GTFO? That didn't make sense. Oh, that doesn't matter because it's just gonna... Alright, let's do the middle one. I like middle. Apply. Let's see what we get. Come on. Using the black steel key with the Gorgoroth steelbound loot box. 2 chunks of high-grade Doomful Skarn, an empowered dark essence of block, and 20 ashes of Gorgoroth. Okay, cool. So you do get ashes of Gorgoroth, but you know there are other ways to get them besides the loot box. You can use your flame of Uncolormere to deconstruct other light gear that you can't use. So 20. I don't even how much do I have? Ash of Gorgoroth. I got 21. Oh. Yeah, I haven't been deconstructing anything. And then this 9 empowered dark essence of block. Oh no, sorry, not 9. It's tier 9. And it's green. And it's useless because I don't use block, so I'll just sell that later or give it to a guardian that I know. I do know a guardian actually. Wiga. And Wiga, so I'll probably give it to her if she has any need for it. Alright, let's go up here. At the same time, I'm hoping for spies. Now for these black enforcer, let's see, let's put on an Oathbreakers because I can. And yeah, if you play a captain, don't be afraid to use your Oathies because you can kill all these champion or elite mobs way quicker and with less stress. Excellent. Oh, and that's part of quest 2. Well. Alright, so what exactly am I looking for in here? Gearworks, complete turning the machines. There are 2 rings at the top of this ramp, which I'm about to go do. There's a forge worker here and a High Moon of Gondolin who's here taking them on. I'll just help this guy out. Okay. That's done. Now, as for the quest itself. Oh, there we go. Simple Gearworks. It's a little cookie icon at the back there. I have to dispatch this door first. Oh, simple and elaborate. So there's 2 types of Gearworks up there. I wonder what that's all about. Let's find out. Okay, let's start with this one. What does this do? Starts the quest, turning the gears. Great. So Gearworks, it has 2 types of quests in here. I'm going to just remove this one. Actually, no, I'm going to remove signal flags. I'll do that later. Alright, turning the gears. After finding many crankshafts in Udûn, you have stumbled upon an elaborate gearworks, missing a key component. There may be even more machines in Udûn that you're able to repair. Remember what I said earlier in the stream about, you know, the mechanics making you run circles in one area to keep you here? This is what it is, yo. I'll probably be in this region until next week at the rate that I'm going, because it's hard enough to find the time to play among a work week. So this is going to be fun. Let's just see how many I need. If it's more than 10, oh, it's 9. Let's see how many I can get here. Or actually, are they in fact all the rings? It's called Turning the Gears, the name of the quest. Yeah, so if you just follow the rings, you won't have to do much finding, but you'll obviously need to do a lot of killing. Oh, hang on a second. The smaller one is a separate quest. After finding many gears in Udûn, you have stumbled upon a simple gearworks missing a key component. There may be even more machines in Udûn that you are able to copy and paste text. But this one is repair simple gearworks. And okay, this one has gear, so actually this is worth doing. The shields do not have light stats though, unfortunately, because I was on Endang's stream last weekend and he had a sword, a weapon that had light stats on it, so that was pretty cool, especially if you're dual wielding as a champion or a burglar or whatever. You have that in your weapons, but not for shields, unfortunately. So I have a shield and I do use a shield, so I may consider getting one. I'm just looking at the cosmetics because I'm, as much as I am a stats guy, I am a cosmetic guy as well. If it looks good, I feel good. These do not look good at all. I'll take it anyway. XP is XP, and I'm no longer a VIP, so I don't get rested XP. I don't get stuff like that. So I'll make do with all the quests that I get. I just wonder if I can just click on these now and see if I can if it counts as a repair. Yes, it does. Wow. Okay, so if you pick up the quest, folks, don't walk away straight away to try and find you know, other gearworks. Click on the ones that gave you the quest because that counts as one. Used gear 9 out of 9. That worries me. Let's see if I can click on them again. Nope, that's gone, and that is gone. So again, if you don't know by now, or if you're a new player watching and wondering how to make that go easier, you can hit the delete key, and the delete key will highlight the nearest interactable item. So right now I'm pretty much done with this area because there are no more rings. Even though I just clicked on those 2 rings, it should not be showing up anymore, but it still is, unfortunately. So now that I have the 2 gears, the 2 quests, gear in the machine and turn the gears, I can just get rid of this. So they'll declunk the map. There we go. So gear in the machine, turning the gears. At least I have a clearer picture of where I have to go now. And once you get there, just hit the delete key and it should make things a lot more easier. I'm just going to jump down here. Break a leg. Take a shortcut. Oh, spy. No, not a spy. It's my damn pet. God damn. Yeah, that's just Cappy real life problems. If you play a Cappy real world problems, you, in dense areas especially, when you summon a pet, and if you take any shortcuts, like from on top there to down here, your pet does not follow you in, you know, your shortcuts. So be prepared to have him run the entire way around and aggro everything to come to you. That can be fun if you do enjoy a challenge. Alright, so there is an elaborate one up there. I'm just gonna make my way up. Hopefully we get some spy twos, because I am in the spy area. Ears of Ogrukur. No, I'm out of the spy area. Killing quests, I'm probably gonna ignore it for now. I'll just do it whenever I want. And I thought about popping an XP accelerator, but I'm gonna save that for, you know, when I actually know I'm in an area where it's a simplified quest hub crawl where I can use it. Because in an area like Udûn, you're spending a lot of time traveling back and forth and finding. And you know, if you want to pop an XP accelerator scroll right now, you can. It's actually decent if you intend to fight these. If you're questing in a group, you know you're going to be killing mobs all the time. Things are going to be dropping left, right, and center, and that extra XP from the boost is going to help so much. So, just little tips I'm thinking of to help you guys level faster for those that haven't started yet. And I know I'm probably in the minority. Actually, I take that back. I'm sorry. There are a lot of people who are waiting until winter to buy these expansion pack with LOTRO points from the store because it's pretty it's expensive. I'll give you that. I myself purchased the second tier, which is the collector's edition, and it does come with the high elf race because after all, this is for a review, and I intend to review everything, and that costs $79.99 US, which when you convert that to the Malaysian ringgit, I am in Malaysia, conversion exchange rate is 4.2.1 or something like that. That goes up to like 350 Malaysian ringgit, which is a lot of money where I'm from. Oh no, we have a hatch. Starts a quest. Oh. You know, I'm not trying to look frustrated or anything. It's just that if this wasn't in the previous episode, and this was a couple of quests that I did on the way here, which was the first one involved opening hatches way back to look for treasure, and then the follow-up quest was closing those hatches. And every time, for both of those quests, every time you touched a hatch, an enemy pops up and you had to kill it. And now apparently there's a third quest of a similar variety involving closing a hatch. So if I pick up this quest, and if there's enemies that are going to be popping out, none so far. This one does give you an earring. I do not have a light stat earring. +2. Okay, so let's see what the thing says. It turns out there are even more open hatchways on the northern side of Udûn, out of which angry inhabitants may still pour. May still pour. So yeah, there's gonna be mobs crawling out of these when I try to close it. But that's one. And there's 8. There's frigging 8 of these to do. I really hate comparing MMOs, but it's what I do. It's what my channel's all about, you know. It's not that, oh, I'm a fan of one doesn't mean I can't, you know, critique something or anything. I don't care about that anymore. I'm way beyond, you know, sticking to one game. This channel has brought me places and taught me things, and I've done things out of my comfort zone, like play MMOs I hate, play MMOs I thought I would hate, and hate MMOs I thought I loved. So it's a full circle thing. And LOTRO, when you play more modern MMOs and you see things that you go, oh, you know, I wish I never knew I wanted that, or I wish that was in this game. That happens a lot with LOTRO. And the quest design, landscape quest design, just that. I mean, that's, for me, this entire hatch chain, it's not fun. It really isn't. And again, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, which is making you stay here. They're pegging you to the first zone in ways that is not necessarily fun. Oh, here's a Suit Smudge page. This one is an audio recorded reading. This is cool. I like this. This is like an audio, like, here, I'll just click on it and it'll automatically read.
We quelled forges and collapsed mines as we went. But in the end, Udun's best defense was our own haste to pursue the enemy.
That's it. I mean, it's just like 1 or 2 sentences, but, you know, it's read to you by this elf-sounding dude. And I think it's pretty cool. It's a new mechanic that is awesome. And completing that quest, because it is a lore quest, I've got a lot of pages to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm sure I can check the wiki and everything, but I'll do that on my own time. Completing this will give you a well-preserved relic of the last alliance, and also a Lost Lore Udûn. This is a housing item, and I hope that when I click on it, and I'm sure, because there's a cooldown in there, so yeah, you can click in it in your home instance, and it's probably going to read you different pages or whatever. I find that cool. I like that. That is the sort of innovation and, you know, the introduction of new mechanics and systems I would love to see in LOTRO, but they can't just stop it at, you know, housing decoration items. I want it to be reflected in the gameplay itself, in the actual questing and progression of gear and you know, landscape stuff, events. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, I am highly opinionated when it comes to LOTRO because I am attached to it. It is after all, my first MMO, you know, and I don't want to see it fade away. And, you know, my last memory of it is being, or to have my last memory of LOTRO being Yeah, that it stinks. You know, I wanted to do better, and you know, players can only give their feedback. So as many times as they want on the forum, it's up to the developers to actually see what's being asked and see what's working and what's not, and try and change that. So apparently I missed a ring over there. I'm just gonna hit there real quick and see what's up. Oh, we got iron strings of Clan Stonehammer. He's got a nice outfit. Alright. I've missed a ring, apparently. At the bottom here somewhere. What ring is that? Oh, that's the hatch. Well, I thought I got the hatch down here. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I got the hatch, so that's a dud. That's just my map and quest tracker messing with me. There should be another one here. Up there for the ring. That's where I'll head to. So, yeah, I mean, if you read the fine print when you pre-ordered the expansion, you know, it takes pride in saying, you know, there are over 300 quests in the new expansion. The type of player I am, the type of person I am, is quality over quantity. I don't care if you have 500 quests, but if the quality of those quests are passable or just meh, what's the point? You know, MMOs that do that, I mean, I'm not speaking about LOTRO, I'm not speaking about any MMO in general, I'm just saying MMOs that do that kind of thing, you know. Oh, we've got 500 new quests in this expansion, which is a 400% increase from the last. Well, great, but you know, having that many quests and having the individual objectives be so arbitrary and so redundant, you've done something before in the first chain and then you're doing it again and again and again. You're no different from like the Asian MMOs, those pay-to-win MMOs that, you know, have you grind. You know, and these ones don't actually have a connected story to the Black Book, at least not that I think of. Again, this is the first zone. I'm in the first area of the expansion, so I don't actually know how much of this is going to be affected much later on. But yeah, landscape quests for me so far, right now at the very beginning, not exactly impressed by it. Again, as I said very early in the stream, that, you know, there was a couple of quest chains that had stories that built up pretty nicely, that made sense when you finished it. Fortunately, not all of them are like that. So I'm exactly here where they want me to be for the hatch, but there's just nothing here, so I'm just gonna move on. I actually haven't thought about how long I should make this playthrough. Offline playthrough, I'm calling it that. Offline playthrough. There will be a live stream for this, so for those of you, and there's a lot of regular viewers out there have been saying, you know, we missed the live streams, bring it back. Yes, it's coming back. You know, there hasn't been a leveling stream recently because of the two expansions, Mordor and then Guild Wars 2's Path of Fire. They're all back to back. So, you know, for a guy like me that only has a limited amount of time, you know, every week to play, that is a problem, but it's a good problem because all the big MMOs in the past 2 months and the next 2 months, they've all got big releases. Star Wars The Old Republic has got Crisis on Umbara. That's a new story content pack that's out. And while I don't play Star Wars anymore, and that's a story for another day or that's for another video, I still keep up to date on everything that happens in Star Wars The Old Republic, because that is one of the MMOs that I fell in love with recently, but you know, the game just drove me away. The game's decisions drove me away. Neverwinter has been putting out some really good content. You know, I work for an MMO news website, and we do share notes about the type of games that I play. I cover a certain type of game or a certain type of MMO, and my colleagues cover a different type of MMO. But there's been a generally positive vibe about Neverwinter and how much new stuff that they've been putting out and reworking. So it sort of felt right that I do Neverwinter next. And on top of that, you know, it's just released on like the PlayStation 4 and everything, so it's multi-platform now. I don't know if it's cross-platform, but it's something I intend to find out. So streams are coming back for Neverwinter sometime in October. As for Mordor itself, yeah, this weekend I hope to have a stream this weekend where I'm checking out the High Elf race because I paid for it, so I want to see what it's all about. You know, it's been talked to death whether or not the High Elf should have been included in the base edition of the expansion. It's, you know, there's no point harping on it now because just like in a few months or something, all the pre-order stuff is gone. Actually, it won't be, but you know, people will forget it and move on. And 1,000 points you can buy for 1,000 points in the LOTRO store in December or whenever they define their winter. It's kind of strange, really. I mean, when I thought of winter, I thought, all right, early November we should be able to get it. But then again, it's LOTRO. You never know, you know, because summer was supposed to be summer, but they brought back summer, the summer festival again. And I'm trying to figure out a reason why they did that. I actually don't know. But yeah, it was kind of surprising to read that, oh, the summer festival is coming back. Okay, Gearworks, alright, there's a hatch over there. There you say Gearworks over here. I think I should be hitting delete key. I am not even taking my own best practices advice. Discovered forging furnace. Yes, that is a deed, I believe. There's a whole lot of forges and furnaces here in this region. It's like a little maze, and every time you hit a new one or you get close to a new one, you'll discover it. And I believe it's a deed. Excellent. I love it. For all these small fries, all these small goblins and crap, I'm hitting them so much more harder now, and I'm happy with that. Alright, so that's 15 now. Discovering forges and stuff. Nothing in my quest tracker is moving, is progressing. So it should be a deed. I'll just double check that real quick. Deed bestowed. What is this? Forge Worker Slayer, already got that one. And deed completed. Yeah, blah blah blah. So let's see. Forge Fires. Yeah, it is a deed. And you do get some cool titles. A Havelheim, Hand Up the Flame. This one, what is this? Gear Hunter, discover great forge works. So that's a lot of discovery stuff. And you know, the exploration here, it's not gated by anything except mobs because of the high density. Just something interesting that I want to talk about too. I mean, it's been a while since I've, you know, pored over Tolkien and read the Return of the King, and because I don't think he describes too much about, you know, the aftermath in Mordor, which is kind of why Standing Stone Games have sort of, I wouldn't say free reign, but they have a lot more flexibility to flesh out what happens here in Mordor and Udûn, and possibly later on in Harad and wherever else they go. But Tolkien didn't do a lot of this himself, which is the interesting thing, because I'm trying to find the correlation of how, you know, what is happening in this region, not from an MMO perspective, but from a lore or from a story perspective, where it's logical. Like, you see the armies here are still strong and still stout, they're resolute, and the shadow mechanic in that regard should not make sense, especially when you're you know, the leader of the dark forces, the evil Sauron, he's gone. And you know, the destruction of the, you know, Barad-dûr and everything around you. I mean, how is there still an army that is still willing enough to fight? You know, that's the question I have. But of course, from a LOTRO perspective, they needed this to push on the game and push on the story forward. So I'm just wondering if there is one antagonist that I have not encountered yet, or if there's actually a clear antagonist that is responsible for keeping a small band of this army together. Because if there isn't, then it really, I'm finding it hard to make sense of how, you know, these guys are still around and how they're still happy enough to kick your butt, even though you know they're on the losing side. So maybe again, I have how many? I've got like four more maps to go through in Mordor to see exactly what's happening with the story. But I'm hoping to hear that there is an antagonist of some sort that will probably get to kick or kill in the instance cluster, maybe. Although that would be unfulfilling for solo players or casual players who don't want to, do instances to end that story. And the reason why I had to kill that guy was I'm trying to get to this rare Mordor chest. Just cause. Ooh. Look what I got. You open the rare chest and find rare Mordor treasure. That's it. That's in the chat. And I know my chat is being blocked by my webcam right now. So I'm just gonna open it here and see. There you go. Rare Mordor treasure bound to have lime. A collection of rare items from Mordor. I'm excited now. That made killing the enforcer that much more rewarding. Let's go ahead and open these. Ooh, what's that? Invader's Heart and Helm. Ooh, sweet mama. Hello, hello. Okay, let's open the crafting bundle first. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what is this? Okay, let's see here. It's level 106. So I believe these scale up. If you opened it at when you're 110, you should get a 110 drop. But mine's 106. So item level 300. Armor way better than my flower armor. And 391 might. I'm losing mine obviously because I've got a crap ton of masterful essence mites in the other one. But vitality's in there, physical mastery's in there, which is good. And light of Earindel. Nice. Let's see how this one looks. Not great. I don't like that thing. But yeah, that's awesome. So I just need the damn essence. I need some sort of essence to put that in, and I'll absolutely start using that. So you've learned something today, folks. For those of you that have not played yet, you will absolutely want to try and find, those rare Mordor treasure boxes. Because I thought it was just going to be crafting materials again, and thankfully it's not. I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, got that hatch, so I'm pretty much done with this area, I think. Even though the rings are still there, and I hate it when it does that. So I will be moving forward into the yellow zone now. No dirt thing, no more thorough stuff. As for gear in the machine, I no longer see rings for the 2 gear quests except down there in that area, so that's where I'm going, I believe. Oh. Well, you can discover it if you're behind it from on top. But I'll be making my way down now. Alright, so I am on top of some of these. Oh, that's really cool. I just noticed that. Here, let me get rid of my UI. That is a goblin on this thing is just turning the turbine down there. If that's what you call it. I don't know my forge works. So that's kind of cool. I just noticed that. That's cool. I can't kill him, and he obviously doesn't care about me, so. Okay, so there's 3 layers. This is the 3rd layer. I'm now on the 2nd layer. There's a lower layer down there as well, where there are gearworks all over the damn place. So I'm going to be doing a lot of delete key clicking and finding, and this is going to take a while. I was kind of hoping this playthrough would be a bit more quicker, in the sense that I could progress faster. But because of the way Mordor is built and how the landscape designed, and what I said earlier, the player retention they've gone above and beyond to keep you here, doing petty stuff for as long as possible. This, unfortunately, part 2 is still gonna be me here in Udûn. So bear with me. I guess by part 4 we'll probably get out of here. And oh, what the heck? The demon goat from The demon goat from White is here. Is it the demon goat? Yeah, it is. It's got the red eyes and everything. And they just call it Release Direhorn. I'm pretty sure they had its own name way back in White. That's kind of funny. Clicking on a gear thing, and that gate opens and a goat comes out. That was the last thing I was expecting. Alright, let's hit the delete key and find more gear works. There's one over there. Oh. Something's happening behind me. Nope. So yeah, I can see why. Like, I've got some friends who, like, you know, are still making their way through Mordor. They're not done with it. Some people are already 115. But they're still not done with Mordor because of the amount of stuff that you got to do around here. So I guess I will carry on finding this stuff on my own, and hopefully what I'll probably do is I'll just get rid of this in my quest log and then move on to the next area. That's where I'll probably start part 3. So I guess this is where I'll end it for night, because it is, well, it's 2:30 in the morning. It doesn't feel like it because I did take a nap, and unfortunately, as always when I do this, I have coffee. So I'm just shooting myself in the foot here. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Mordor playthrough. And again, just to recap, this is an offline playthrough, but it's got almost a similar format to a live stream. In part 1, it was a more condensed, summarized playthrough format, where, you know, I've gone ahead and done the hard part of just going through the entire thing, and I summarize the bits and give you guys more information that way. This is a more full experience because you actually get to see me doing the quest and explaining stuff, and, you know, just the extra bit of stuff that you don't get from the format I used in the first episode. So the third format is going to be a live stream, and obviously a live stream, you know, is going to allow a lot of you guys to come in chat, and we can talk about stuff, you know, bounce ideas and opinions back and forth, and I like that. I think it's kind of fun. The problem with you know, live streams, for me, at least for me now, is that timing is a big factor. Like, when exactly, you know, because I'm starting to look at my channel more now in terms of analytics and what's the best time to do this, what's the best type of, you know, all this SEO stuff. When it comes to live streaming, you know, here's an interesting fact for you guys. 85% of my subscribers, you guys, and viewers are from the United States, from Europe, and basically the West. And I, being in the East, you know, my stream times usually happen when it's most optimal for me, like after work, at night, which is kind of why I do them, you know, Sunday nights my time, 10 p.m. And if I were to stream on a weekday, I'd have to stream at night for me, which is going to be morning for a lot of you folks, and you guys at work. So live streams, I would love to do them more. The problem is the time factor. The time zone is it's crappy. So if I were to do a live stream, you know, you guys are going to watch it later on, so it's not live anyway. So that's why the whole idea of me pre-recording these playthroughs instead of having a live stream made more sense to me, because a lot of you folks can't join me in live streams anyway. But I'll still do another live stream next week. This weekend for LOTRO. We're gonna be checking out the high elf race, but again, it's gonna be in the morning your time, just at night for me. It's just one of the unfortunate compromises I have to live with, is that when I do my live streams, 85% of my subscribers can't watch it live. So that's real life problems for you. Streaming in the morning for me is a possibility if I am not at work or if I don't have work. But you know, being a writer, you're always on call, on assignment. So yeah, that outro went on far longer than I wanted it to. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the second episode of my LOTRO Mordor playthrough. You know, as much as I have an opinion about how the landscape quests are in this first region for Mordor and the quality and everything, I'm still having a good time because I'm seeing my character progress. You know, I'm at a stage now where I've got enough gear, or light gear, to actually see that I'm making a difference, and that's progression that LOTRO hadn't had in about 2 years. since essence slotted gear came out. Once you got a bunch of essences and you got your gear, I became complacent. I never really needed to change my gear. I was using, update 19 stuff for a very long time through a bunch of things, through PvP, through dungeons, dailies. There's no need for change. But now that I know, okay, we've got more levels to do, we've got more gear to get, I'm enjoying that process. In terms of story and questing and everything, there's a lot more to do. Don't have a final opinion on it, obviously. So more playthroughs will be needed. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button. For new players that are here, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more MMO content. I'm not a LOTRO only content producer or creator. I make MMO videos, reviews, stuff like that. You can check out my channel. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate your support. It's the one thing that's keeping me going, keeping me, coming out with videos and stuff. It's all for you guys. So I really hope you guys enjoy that and continue to support the channel. So once again, my name is Adrian, and I thank you guys for watching. You've reached the end screen of the video. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you click the button in the middle. If you want to watch more, click the videos playing to the left or to the right. Come by, comrade!